Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and the NFL, as well as my comments and your comments in the chat. I bring you honesty, I bring you truth, and I bring you emotion and passion. Let's go, guys. Let's start this show. I'm your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys. Very, very glad to have each and every one of you joining out there on a Friday night. I know Friday's a busy night for a lot of people. I really do appreciate the fact that you guys take your time to watch this crazy guy talk about Broncos and NFL stuff all across the gamut, whatever. All right. Hope each and every one of you had a wonderful week. And let's get started as we head into the weekend. Unfortunately, the Broncos aren't in the playoffs, but hey, maybe next year. It's always maybe next year. Okay. Russell Wilson surprises Pete Carroll. Surprised with what? Those two didn't have the most harmonious exit out of Seattle. But this is interesting. Let's get into it. Russell Wilson flew from Denver to Seattle to surprise Pete Carroll at Pete Carroll's farewell party. That's right. Pete Carroll is no longer the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. So Russell Wilson flew there to join Pete Carroll and his celebration of farewell, which is a little bit, ironic to me. I'll get into that. Both Wilson and Carroll were happy to see each other, as well as a lot of former teammates. Does Russell Wilson miss Seattle? Possibly. Anyways, the smiles and laughter seem to have erased the past when before Russell Wilson was traded to the Broncos, he had requested that the team fire Pete Carroll and general manager John Snyder. Wow. So you mean to tell me that Russell Wilson basically crashed the party because he didn't tell anybody he was coming, maybe just a couple of guys. Pete Carroll didn't know. Other executives around there didn't know. And here comes Russell Wilson walking into a gathering that he's no longer a part of, because he's not on the Seahawks. And he comes in there and crashes this party. And everybody welcomes him back like nothing ever happened. I know people can let bygones be bygones. People can forgive and forget. I get it. But wow. I mean, it seemed like why would Pete Carroll be happy to see Russell Wilson when he tried to get him fired? It just doesn't make any sense to me, man. It really doesn't make any sense. But hey, I mean, it's a party. It's a party. So it's a celebration. It's a farewell kind of thing. Okay, I get that. Okay, maybe they just kind of let bygones be bygones, and we'll talk about that later should it come up. But right now I'm having a good time, so let's not talk about it. Okay, good. Maybe they just talked about the Super Bowl win over the Denver Broncos. I don't know. Maybe they talked about a lot of things, but it certainly went over really well. There were photographs. There was video. There was a lot of huggy, kissy kind of thing between Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. So hey, I mean, good for them. Good for them. Just didn't work out in Denver. Sorry to say. Kamani Dixon is batting leadoff in the chat in the house. Kamani, my brother. Yeah, hey, you're my brother, man. I love you, man. Thank you so much for being in the chat. Thank you always for your support. Really do appreciate it so much. Okay. If you look at my name, Bronco Bill, in the bottom left corner, it says another offseason filled with drama. Yeah. I have a topic for the show, obviously. This is a subtopic. Another offseason filled with drama. Absolutely, totally drama. Again. And you know what? It makes it great for this show. and for the entire MHRT network, because it gives us something to really talk about in the offseason. Not good for the Broncos. Hey, but we'll take it on this side. So, I'm going to bring you a lot of drama and bring you a lot of different things in this show tonight. So sit back, fasten your seatbelts, and let's just go for the ride. All right. Come on. He says, no problem. I say, no problem. My brother either, man. Love you. All right. Listen to this. Sean Payton is linked to Mason Rudolph. You're wondering, who's Mason Rudolph? Well, Mason Rudolph is the third string quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Sean Payton is thinking about Mason Rudolph. Whoa, wait a minute. Let me tell you what's happening. With the Broncos expected to let Russell Wilson walk, they will be in need of a quarterback. Yes, Stidham is still on the Broncos, but he doesn't seem to be the guy that Sean Payton's looking for. Therefore, Sean Payton will be looking for that guy, in quotes, and it could be Mason Rudolph of the Steelers. What? Seriously? Mason Rudolph of the Steelers. Okay, let me continue. Why Rudolph? That's my question. Why Rudolph? Well, Payton likes his pocket awareness and his stature of Rudolph, which he is 6'5", 235 pounds, and is only 28 years old. That's the reason right there. You got a tall quarterback. You got a broad, solid quarterback at 230, 235, and he's a pocket passer. What do you think what do you think Sean Payton looks for in a quarterback? Not Russell Wilson, who's, 5'3" and runs out of the pocket and can't see anybody and just throws up there in the air. No, don't get me wrong, guys. I like Russell Wilson. He's just not a Sean Payton type of quarterback. But I'm not sure if Mason Rudolph is either. Why are we trying to plug in? Okay, we got a hole in the Bronco offensive quarterback situation this big. And we're trying to plug it in with a guy this big around in a hole. You can't plug this big a hole with this big. You can't. Why are we trying to have a stopgap? We're trying to put Band-Aids all over this freaking what am I calling? A blowout of a leakage, and we're trying to put Band-Aids on there to secure that. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So why don't we just sit back with Stidham, keep Russell Wilson, even though we got to pay him $37 million, even if we don't have to pay him $37 million if he goes in. Well, it's still dead money, guys. It's still dead money. So why not keep Stidham? Why not draft a quarterback? We got draft number 12. I will get into that too. And the bottom line is, why are we freaking out? Why are we trying to reach, Mason Rudolph is not the answer. Neither is Stidham. I'm tired of fill the gap, fill the breakage in the wound, bandage up a wound when you really need to go in and do surgery. Well, that's what the Broncos need to do. They need to do surgery at the quarterback level. We need to get the guy, not just Stidham who says, I'm the guy, because he's not. He's not. He's mediocre, just like Wilson was. I'm not sure that Mason Rudolph is any better. There's a Kirk Cousins out there who's going to be a free agent. Yes, he has a torn Achilles and he's recuperating. I get that. I'd rather have somebody who's more productive than a Mason Rudolph. I don't get this. I don't understand. Sean Payton, I know he's trying to, bring in the players that he wants. But is this turning into the Denver Saints? Seriously? Saints haven't won a Super Bowl. Saints haven't really won it. Well, wait a minute. I take it back. Saints did win one Super Bowl. Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. My bad. Saints have won a Super Bowl, but not recently. And yes, they did win it with Sean Payton, and Sean Payton got the guys he wanted. He got the Drew Brees, and he got the guys he wanted. Okay, I will give you that. But my goodness, is Mason Rudolph, and I know he's not on the Saints, but is Mason Rudolph the answer in Denver from Pittsburgh? Is Jared Stidham the answer in Denver? I don't know. Is the draft pick that we get at number 12, which I'll talk about, is that an answer? I don't know. Nobody knows. It's a crapshoot. That's all it is, guys. It's a crapshoot. I'll get in it. Okay. The chat's blowing up, which I love. You guys make the show. It's not about me, guys. It's about you, honestly. Okay. Kamani says, no. I don't want Rudolph. I don't want Rudolph either. Rudolph the red-nosed, he don't know what he's doing, reindeer. I don't want him. I don't want Mason Rudolph. I don't think the guy's the answer. I really don't. That's a good question, Kamani. That's a really, really good question. Do quarterbacks really stay in the pocket? Okay, let me address this. I'm going to keep this up here, guys, so you understand what I'm talking about. Do quarterbacks really stay in the pocket? No, they don't. But here's the thing that most head coaches, when they say they want a pocket passer, as opposed to, let's say, a Russell Wilson or anybody else that runs out of the pocket kind of thing, they want a quarterback who will stay in the pocket as long as he possibly can until he has to move out to be able to hit the receiver that he's trying to hit. Okay. Now you take Russell Wilson, Kamani, and anybody else out there. You take Russell Wilson, who's only 3'5", and I say that because he's really short, but for quarterback standard, he's not 3'5", but you get my point. I think he's 5'10", 5'11". He still can't steal with those 6-foot guys. Anyways, so you take Russell Wilson at 3'5". He cannot see over the lineman. He has to roll out of the pocket to be able to hit his receivers. That's what makes him different than a pocket passer. He is not a pocket passer. John Elway was a pocket passer. Montana was. Peyton Manning. You name these greats who are pocket passers. Why? Because the pocket surrounds them. That's why they call it a pocket. Now, they leave an opening in the front sometimes or in the side, whatever. They leave an opening for the quarterback to escape. But for the most part, they want him to stay in the pocket because that's where the security is. Okay? And that's the thing, Kamani, is most NFL quality, high-performing quarterbacks are pocket passers. Okay? But they will have to scramble and get out whenever they need to. But they're still considered pocket passers. Lamar Jackson is not a pocket passer. He likes to run. So does Mahomes likes to run, but he's considered a pocket passer. So is the one from Buffalo. Oh God, why does he escape me? Guy from Buffalo. We should have drafted him. Anyways, you know what I'm talking. He's a pocket passer as well. So those ones are pocket passers, and there's others that are not. Dante Culpepper back in the day, he was not. He liked to run. A lot of quarterbacks like to run, but in Sean Payton's game and his system, he wants a pocket passer, and that's what he had in Drew Brees, and that's what he wants in Denver. Doesn't happen with Russell Wilson, and we will get into that. All right. Muhammad Badri is in the house. Muhammad, nice to have you, my friend. Great to see you, Bill. Great to see you, Muhammad. Well, I wish I could see you. If you were on the show, I'd like to. But I'd like to see you in the chat. Thank you so much, Muhammad. Glad to see you. Glad to have you here. My brother-in-law in Vegas, Rudy Torres, says, good to see you again, Bill. Absolutely good to see you, too. I see you all the time whenever I call you and whatever. But, yeah, glad to have you, Rudy, in the chat. As always, love it. Muhammad, I said that earlier, the Denver Saints. Yeah, I know. But you know what? Every coach brings in their familiarity. I get that. I kind of would welcome it if they had success, which, Sean Payton has. So I welcome that. It's just weird because I don't know. I guess I'm still just so connected to the Pat Bowlen type of style, and bringing his own guys, that he knew, and they weren't really football. I mean, they were football guys, but they didn't come from other teams, kind of thing. So, I don't know. I know that Mike Shanahan came from the 49ers and all that. I get that, but hey, when it comes to coaching and stuff, I don't know. I'm just an old school guy. I love our new ownership. Don't get me wrong. I love the Walton Penner ownership group, and Sean Payton is our head coach. I just hope it gets turned around next year. I really do. I'm itching and yearning for a playoff season next year. All right. Hey, nice little shout out to you guys, man. Mohammed Badri says, "Sup, Rudy." Rudy says, "Hi there." All right, good camaraderie, good interaction. Love it. All right, let's get to the next topic. My next topic was going to be the main topic of the show. I'm going to save that for a little bit. I want to get into some other stuff. Jim Harbaugh. The LA Chargers have interviewed Jim Harbaugh of Michigan for their vacant head coaching spot. Both sides said it went well. However, Harbaugh has also been interviewed by the Falcons. He was supposed to have an interview with the Raiders, but the Raiders gave that job to their interim head coach in Antonio Pierce. Now, I like that. I like the fact that the Raiders kept with their interim head coach. And I'll tell you why. No, guys, I'm not a Raider fan. I don't want the Raiders to succeed. That's why I'd like that hire. Yeah, Antonio Pierce out of the gate after taking over for Josh McDaniels. I mean, he won his first game or two. After that, they fizzled downhill. They fizzled. Well, until they played the Broncos the last game of the season, they won. But he wasn't all that. Well, that's good. That's a good thing, because that means that Denver, doesn't have to really worry about his coaching abilities. Now, if he gets better, of course, everybody can possibly get better, which most likely they will. Well, unless you're Josh McDaniels, then you just continue on that, proverbial downhill. That being said, I didn't want him to get a Harbaugh. I don't want the Chargers to get a Harbaugh. I don't want the Chargers or the Raiders to get anybody good, period. Why? Because it is in the same division as the Broncos. Why would I want anybody else to have a better head coach than we do, or a better record? Come on, guys. Seriously? Yeah, I want the Chargers and the Raiders to suck. I want them. And that starts from the head coach down. That's why I loved it when McDaniels went to the Raiders. I knew they weren't going to be anything. How can they be anything when he hasn't learned anything from when he was the head coach of the Broncos? And that was obvious. Do you think Josh McDaniels going to get back in the NFL? Maybe as an offensive coordinator. Dang sure not as a head coach. That's for sure. So I don't want Harbaugh here because I don't want the Chargers to be good. Now, if Harbaugh wants to go to the Falcons, great. You're out of our division. I don't have to worry about you. I just don't want him to go to the Chargers because that's the only vacancy open in the AFC West. I don't want him going here. Period. All right, I move on. Speaking of head coaches, Bill Belichick leaves the Patriots. Can anybody understand, not understand, but can anybody ever imagine that Bill Belichick would ever leave the New England, I almost said Boston Patriots. Now, if there's anybody out there that remembers the original name called the Boston Patriots, please chime in the chat and say, yes, I remember the original Boston Patriots. Why? Because that was how I knew them. And it was the Boston Patriots with the old helmet with the Boston guy. I'm gonna kind of demonstrate a little bit. He was hunched over and he had his hand down like this and helmet. It was cool. If you haven't seen that old New England Patriot logo, go back and look at that. It was absolutely, in my opinion, it's one of the best. It really is one of the best original. And I wouldn't say I like it now because we all move forward. We all want to progress and whatnot. Man, that old school helmet of the Patriots was pretty awesome. Was pretty cool. Pretty cool. But anyways, whoever thought that Bill Belichick would not be a New England Patriot head coach ever? I thought maybe he and Tom Brady would leave at the same time. That didn't happen. But it's interesting that he's no longer the head coach of the New England Patriots. Here we go. Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots have parted ways. What does that mean for both? Well, New England has already hired Bill's replacement, and Belichick will get, are you ready for this, guys? He still has 1 year on his contract. So listen to what he gets every single day for the rest of his contract, which is 365 days, calendar year, 365 days. Listen to what he gets. Belichick will get a reported $68 a day, $6,800 a day. No. Bill Belichick will get a reported $68,000 per day, not to be coaching the Patriots in 2024. That equates to his $24.8 million per season on his contract that still remains. Not a bad day's pay. Can you believe that, guys? $68,000 a day, not to coach the New England Patriots. You know what, guys? I wish I could say I got $68,000 a year. Close, but not. I certainly don't get $68,000 a day. That's for dang sure. Wow. $68,000 a day not to work. What a heck of a retirement, man. What a heck of retirement. Man, I could live out, man. I don't even want to go into what I could be doing. Oh my gosh. $68,000 a day. Must be nice to be Bill Belichick. Well, I'm Bronco Bill, but I ain't Bill Belichick. That's for dang sure. Anyways, wow, that is crazy. Kamani, you cannot go there, my friend. Kamani Dixon in the house. I know, Kamani, you were in earlier, but I got to say it again. He says, I am a Chargers fan. No, I am not a Chargers fan. Not whatsoever. Now, if you guys want to label me that, that's fine. But I'm really not a Chargers fan. Not whatsoever. Okay. I just had to whisper that because if not, I'd be yelling it to the rooftops. My wife's in the other room and I don't want to scare the crap out of her. All right. Muhammad Badri says Madungus is an undercover. I got to read this. Muhammad Badri says Madungus is an undercover Raiders fan. I love it. I'm gonna send that to him. Muhammad. Thank you so much. Thanks, man. I have to send that to him. That'll be good. I want to see what he has to say about that one. Let's see. Kamani says, all things never last. Bill, Uncle Bill had to leave doing. Yeah, I know, but man, when you see longtime coaches like back in the day when you had Vince Lombardi and you had what was that one in Dallas? Tom Landry. You had Tom Landry in Dallas forever. And then you have Bill Belichick in New England forever. And then you had Mike Shanahan in Denver forever. Those reason why, and Bill Walsh. You had Bill Walsh. And the reason why I bring in these names is because when you think of that team, you think of that coach. When I think of the Green Bay Packers, I think of Vince Lombardi. When I think of Dallas Cowboys, I think of Tom Landry. Think of Denver Broncos, Mike Shanahan. Think of New England Patriots, Bill Belichick. I mean, New York Giants, I think of Bill Walsh, or San Francisco Bill Walsh. I mean, that is synonymous with the team. That is why I say, to me, it was a shock because in my entire lifetime in being a fan of football, and I really got to understand football in my teen years, my mid to late teen years. Bill Belichick was in New England, where he was coaching. I know he was on Denver for 1 year. He was Cleveland head coach and went to New England. I mean, it just resonates with the team that you're playing. Oh my gosh, we got to play Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Oh, we got to play Bill Walsh and the 49ers. Oh my gosh, now we got to play Mike Shanahan, the Broncos. That's how you looked at teams. You looked at teams because our head coach was crazy good. I mean, crazy good. Belichick Super Bowl champ. You know, Mike Shanahan Super Bowl champ. Tom. Let's say what name was it? Let's say it was. I can't remember now. Dallas. Anyways, you think of the Tom Landry Super Bowl champ. You know, you see these names and these head coaches and they're Super Bowl champions. Why? Because they're that good. And they stay with the team because the team is that good. And that's why I say, you know, it was a surprise to me that Belichick is gone. Why? Because the Patriots weren't that good the last several years? Okay, maybe so. But he doesn't have a Tom Brady. You know, I mean, he doesn't. That doesn't mean Belichick has lost his ability to head coach. No, it just means he doesn't have the talent around him. So you build up the talent around him. What if he goes to Atlanta, where it's rumored he may end up in Atlanta? If he goes to Atlanta, guess what? Falcons could be on the verge of winning their first Super Bowl. Who knows? Who knows? Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay and won a championship. Belichick could go to Atlanta and win a championship. I mean, great coaches just don't lose how to coach. They don't. They just need to have the right pieces, just like Sean Payton needs to have the right pieces in Denver. That's why next year, I believe, is going to be a lot better. I'm just throwing it out there, guys. I got a really good feeling next year under Sean Payton is going to be a lot better than this year. And I will get into that in just a couple of segments. All right. Kamani says that's crazy for not working. Yeah, I know. It happens sometimes. It really does, Kamani. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but just never know. Muhammad Badri said 24 million. I retire with that kind of cheese. Dude, I would retire in a heartbeat. $68,000 a day? Seriously, a day. Come on, think about that. How awake is a person in a day? All right, you got 24 hours. Let's say you're still a working person. Not myself. Well, I work at the golf course. Okay, let's use myself, okay? I work 6 hours a day at the golf course, 4 days a week, sometimes 5, try and keep it 4. 4 days a week. I work today 6 hours, 6.5, okay? So I'm up at 4 in the morning. Let's say at midnight, my $68,000 a day gets dropped into my account. So I wake up 4 hours later to get ready and go to work. I get to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm home by 12:15. And I look at my bank account and I got $68,000 deposited at the previous midnight, 12:01. Now I'm $68,000 richer. You think I'm still working at the golf course? Nah. No, I'm hugging my wife in bed, cuddling with my wife, and getting up whenever I dang well please. Because that's $68,000 a day? Yeah. Yeah, I am not working on anything outside of making sure my wife's happy. We'll leave it at that. All right. Guy. Kamani says, I could buy Mountain Dew and Ding Dongs. Kamani, you had to go there. You had to go there with the Ding Dong story. You know what, Kamani? I never got those two ladies to go to my Monday show when we had the whole ding dong story, and they were on there on the neighborhood. They on that Sunday, they never went to Monday. I never saw them in it, so I never brought the story because I'm not going to bring up the story until they. I'm not going to redo that story again unless they come in. They asked for it, they weren't there. So, anyways, what can I say? Oh yeah, Bill Parcells with the Giants. That's another good one. Bill Parcells with the Giants. Way to go, Kamani. Good call there on Bill Parcells. Yeah, another championship head coach. So you see, you stay with teams when you're winning, and Bill Parcells, he was phenomenal, and along with Bill Belichick, I just shocked that he's not going to be in New England. It's just weird in my lifetime. It really is. It just seems like certain things are always going to be there, and when they change, it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? Oh, Kamani, man, that's cool, dude. Kamani said, Bill, I would take you and Mike and everyone to Hawaii. I would love it, man. That'd be, I love it. Yeah, we all just got to hope that we can have some kind of job where we get $68,000 a day instead of $68,000 a year. It just would be so much better. Absolutely so much better. Kamani says, I'd leave my job too. Well, yeah, we all would, dude. We all certainly would. Absolutely. No question asked. All right. I'm going to get in this other topic. This is a sad topic, but I'm going to bring it in anyway. The reason why I'm bringing this topic in here is because I'm looking at it as the pressures of the NFL, the pressure of being an owner, the pressure of being a head coach, the pressure of being an NFL football player, and the pressure of everyday life, whether it be an owner, whether it be a head coach, whether it be a player. Everyone in life faces issues where we don't know any other way to handle it than the wrong way. This is about an owner, and it's sad because it could happen to anybody. But if it happens to an owner with all of this money they have and all the resources they have to not have to go down this road, it boggles my mind to think that they don't use their resources to get help, use their resources to steer them in a different direction. I don't know the circumstances behind what I'm going to give you, but what I do know is that every single person has issues. But when you have resources to assist you in not going down that proverbial dark road, these guys should use it. And this is an owner of an NFL franchise, the Indianapolis Colts. Here it is. The Indianapolis Colts have released a statement on Jim Irsay's health. They said, and I quote, Jim is still recovering from his respiratory illness. That's not the illness, guys. Let me continue. They're covering it up. I continue. According to TMZ Sports, from the Carmel Police Department documents, it shows Jim Irsay was found on December 8th around 4:30 a.m. unconscious on the bathroom floor of his house with a blue skin tone. The police said they administered one dose of Narcan, a drug used to revive people in opiate overdose situations. Oh my gosh. This is an owner, guys. This is an owner of an NFL franchise who is in that dire state. I continue. And he responded slightly after the use of the drug. Once the paramedics arrived, they took Irsay to a local hospital where he is recovering. Wow. An owner of an NFL franchise worth billions, or literally hundreds of millions, if not billions, and has to revert to opioids? Why? Why? Is he that distraught because his team didn't make the playoffs? Is he that distraught over finding whatever the issue is? Oh my gosh. You have resources. You have people that can help you. You have the availability that most others, including myself, don't have that kind of funds. We don't have that kind of resources. Wow. To me, that just absolutely boggles my mind that an owner could be that distraught, that in dire situation to have to revert to opioids, which are highly addictive, highly deadly. And from an owner of an NFL franchise that has been successful in years past and has to revert to whatever demons he has inside him that he just can't shake away from. My heart and prayers go out to Jim Irsay. I'm not a Colts fan. I'm not really an Irsay fan. John Elway didn't want to play for him, and maybe he had his reasons too. But man, I just feel sorry for anyone that goes through that just can't shake themselves and has to revert. That is very, very sad. And I really do hope and pray that Jim Irsay comes out a much better man than obviously he went into the hospital. Wow. What an absolute shame. Absolute shame. I wish him all the best. Okay. Let's see. Kamani Dixon asked the question, are there two starters leaving us? Two starters meaning whom? Offense, defense, special teams. The only starter that I know that will be leaving us is going to be Russell Wilson. The only other one I can think of might be Jerry Jeudy if he's traded, but I have not heard that. I've not heard anybody that has gone yet from the Broncos. Nobody that I know of has been released at all. Muhammad Badri talking about Jim Irsay says the NFL will force Irsay to sell the team. I don't know. Muhammad, and here's the reason why I say I don't know. Because if Irsay comes out of the hospital and he's clean bill of health and everything's fine and whatnot, they most likely won't. They'll give him a little bit of time to see if things have changed, if he reverts back, whatever the situation. That's probably what's going to happen. They're not going to tell him he has to sell the team right away. They didn't do that with the Washington Redskins. Commanders. They didn't do that right away. They waited due process before they forced the Redskins, Commanders, to sell the team. So I don't think that's going to happen really anytime soon. Kamani says in regards to two stars leaving on offense, well, it's not going to be Courtland Sutton. I doubt seriously be Courtland Sutton, although I have heard that it could be. So if there are two stars leaving, it could be Courtland Sutton. I sure hope not. But it most likely would be a Jerry Jeudy and maybe, I hate to say this, but maybe a Javonte Williams, only because Williams, hasn't really showed that he's got that full potential after his 3 ligament injuries. So I'm not sure. Jerry Jeudy is in the talk, and I'm not sure positively, Kamani, who the other one might be. It could be a Javonte Williams, which I really don't want. Kamani says, I thought I read that 2 offensive line players were not coming. Oh, line players. Okay. That would most likely be, what's his name? Garrett Bowles. Might be Garrett Bowles and Cushenberry, but I don't think it's Cushenberry. Cushenberry played really, really well this year, so I don't think it's him. But I'm pretty sure it's Garrett Bowles, and it could be what's that guy on the right side? God, he's on tip of my tongue. He got injured I can't think of his name. But anyways, yeah, it could be. I'm pretty sure it might be Garrett Bowles, and just name escaped me. McGlinchey. 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 I think it might be those two. That's who I think it might be. All right, going to the topic of the show, which is NFL executives knew Payton didn't like Russell Wilson. Sean Payton, that is, not George. Here it is. Sean Payton never liked Wilson as his quarterback. If it seems that Sean Payton and Russell Wilson were a disconnect, it's not a mirage. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, that Payton, quote, never liked Wilson from the time he was hired, he being Sean Payton, and he went out of his way to make it known, like the yelling on the sideline, the quit kissing babies comment to Wilson, and finally benching him the last two games. Now, I'm not saying that Russell Wilson was going to be the magic quarterback in Denver, but Sean Payton, even though he said in his interview, I'll do whatever I can to make him the best quarterback. I really don't believe that. I don't believe it. Just go back and watch the games. There were games where it looked like Sean Payton was sabotaging Russell Wilson with the play calls. He never liked he never liked Russell Wilson. He never did. He never wanted a 3'5", quote, quarterback. I know, guys, being facetious, but that's what I call him. He never liked a 3'5" quarterback, as his main quarterback. Why? Because he's not a Sean Payton type of quarterback. He wants a pocket passer. He wants a tall guy. I'm getting into that. He wants a tall guy to be his quarterback. He wants a guy who will stay in the pocket unless he absolutely has to run. He doesn't want a mobile quarterback. That wasn't his system ever and never will be. Because when you find something, you being a head coach, not you per se, but a person with a person being a head coach, they're going to want their own type of guy. And I mentioned Mason Rudolph. That's what Sean Payton's looking at. A 6'5", 235-pound quarterback who likes to stay in the pocket. Am I convinced that Mason Rudolph is the answer to all the Broncos quarterback problem? No, but I think he would be better than Wilson. The only reason why I say that is, like I mentioned, 6'5", 235-pound quarterback who stays in the pocket unless he has to run. And I think he would thrive under a Sean Payton-led offense. I really do. Look what Sean Payton did with Drew Brees. He took Drew Brees out of San Diego, and Drew Brees was nothing on the Chargers. Goes to the Saints, bam, Super Bowl championship. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Sean Payton has to have the pieces that make his system work. And if he thinks that Mason Rudolph is the answer, then go get him. I'm absolutely in favor of go and getting him. Go and get him now. Okay? I mean, you're obviously not going to win with Russell Wilson because it's not going to work. Yeah, we won 5 straight games with Wilson, but it was also the defense that put the Broncos offense in a situation to make points or get points. Wasn't always productive, the way we wanted to, but they put him in the position to do it. They didn't do it in the last 4 or 5 games because they were depleted. They were exhausted. And when the offense couldn't produce, well, then you end up with only 8 wins and 9 losses. All right. Okay. Mohammed Badri totally agrees with me. He says, I agree with you, Bronco Bills, specifically with the Patriots game, straight up sabotage. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mohammed. You nailed it. Hook, line, and sinker. It's exactly what I'm saying. It was a sabotage. He did not. We could have beaten the Patriots, no questions asked, with one hand tied behind our back, one eye blindfolded, easily. Nope. Not with Sean Payton not wanting Russell Wilson to succeed. He didn't want him to succeed. Absolutely did not want him. It reminds me a lot of when John Elway was the general manager and Josh McDaniels drafted Tim Tebow. I loved the heck out of Tebow. I loved Tebow's energy. I loved his passion. I loved everything about Tim Tebow. Not John Elway. John Elway did not love Tim Tebow. And when Tebow was winning those games late, and when he won the playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it looked like, John Elway was hugging Tim Tebow and making it look like he cared. He didn't care. You could see he wasn't 100% ecstatic. No way, shape, or form. No way. You can't fake it that good. You can't. Because your true emotions are going to come out. Just like Sean Payton can't say that he was happy about Russell Wilson winning those 5 games. He was happy about winning, but he wasn't happy about Russell Wilson winning. Otherwise, we would have beaten the Patriots. No, he didn't want Russell Wilson and the Broncos going to the playoffs with Russell Wilson's quarterback. He didn't. And I'm sorry, guys, if I keep harping on the Russell Wilson situation, but it's absolutely out there. Until Russell Wilson is physically gone from the Denver Broncos, these topics are still going to come up. Why? Because it's still relevant. It's still prevalent. It's still there. It's still in front of our faces. And it's not going to change until Russell Wilson is gone. Because we all know, guess who ain't leaving? Sean Payton ain't leaving. The owners love this guy. They absolutely love it. And I will get into his first year as head coach of the Broncos. But I'm just telling you guys, he never liked Russell Wilson as a quarterback. He acted like he wanted it to work. He didn't want it to work. Go back and look at the games. Look at the games against the Washington Redskins. Commanders. Look at the game against the Raiders in the first game, or the Patriots, or the Jets. Come on, guys. There's a hand. I can go down the list. We had so many chances to be in the playoffs this year, but it didn't happen because Sean Payton sabotaged it. I don't care what anybody says. Hold me accountable. I don't care. I'm speaking my mind, my thoughts, and my feelings. Okay? Just mine. I feel he sabotaged the Broncos this year. Why? Because he wants his own freaking quarterback. If Russell Wilson succeeded, he would have to be stuck with him for the next 2 years, and Sean Payton doesn't want it. Absolutely doesn't want it. Never did, never will. Okay, let me move on. Let's see. Kamani Dixon says, Bill, you don't believe that Rudolph is better than Wilson? Mason Rudolph is a joke. Yes, he is a joke, but we're not going to have Russell Wilson. Kamani, we're not going to have Russell Wilson. That's not going to happen. He's not going to be here in 2024. And if he is, he's going to have to duke it out, so to speak, with another quarterback that comes in. I'm not saying that Mason Rudolph is the answer. I never said that. What I'm saying is, if Sean Payton wants Mason Rudolph, it's because of his height. It's because of his stature. It's because of his pocket awareness. He doesn't want a mobile quarterback that runs out and the receivers are running precise routes and Russell Wilson can't see him because he can't see over the freaking his kneecaps, and he's running out of the pocket and going in the wrong direction of the receivers. That's why Russell Wilson won't work and hasn't worked primarily in the Sean Payton system. That's what I'm saying. If a Mason Rudolph can come in and be a stopgap for a year, and be that guy to, stay in the pocket and be precise and that kind of thing. That's what Sean Payton is looking for. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's the be all, the end all, to be all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he may be here as a stopgap. And if Sean Payton can make him into a better quarterback than he is now, then I'm all for it. I'm just, I mean, come on, guys. We got to get back to the playoffs. If nothing else, we just got to get back to the playoffs. Please, 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 in 2024. Muhammad Badri says, if we made the playoffs, then he wouldn't have been able to cut him. You're right. We wouldn't have cut him. We wouldn't have cut him. But I don't think Sean Payton wanted to keep a Russell Wilson. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he wants Russell Wilson on the team. I mentioned earlier that a couple of GMs, a couple of NFL executives said that Sean Payton never wanted Russell Wilson. Never wanted him. It's not his guy. I'm sorry, but it's not. Kamani Dixon says, yes, I agree. Payton threw that Patriots game, and I agree Payton should have let Russell Wilson finish the season. I agree, but if he would have gotten hurt, Kamani, if Russell Wilson would have gotten hurt, the Broncos would have been on the hook for $37 million to pay him because he's damaged goods, possibly going to another team. That's why they benched him. A lot of people saying, no, it wasn't about money. It's about, trying to get a change, a spark. No, bull crap. It wasn't about a spark. It was about Russell Wilson's contract. Plain and simple. No other two ways about it. Plain and simple, it was about his contract. They can't admit it because then it would be in liability of going against the NFLPA, and you can't bench a player due to their contract. So they had to kind of hedge what they were doing. It was a cover-up, guys. Absolute cover-up. Absolute cover-up. It's another black spot on the Broncos' black spots of yesteryear. We had the McDaniels, what was that, film gate or whatever. Just a lot of, and then we had the whole issue with the quarterbacks against the Saints years ago where, they lied to the NFL that they were wearing their mask when they weren't. Now we got this. It's just been a spiral downward, man. We got to get back on track. This ugliness that's dark cloud hanging on the Denver Broncos organization ever since Pat Bowen couldn't function as the owner anymore has been absolutely pathetic. From Joe Alice all the way down now, and we got this whole situation with Russell Wilson. Oh my gosh, man, we got to get past this. Muhammad Badri says Russell Wilson didn't stand a chance with Sean Payton. No, he did not. No, he did not. And unfortunately, that's what happens when you bring in a head coach. It's totally unfortunate. Yeah, I agree, Kamani. Totally agree. It's the Broncos' fault for giving Wilson that contract. It is. But everybody, including George Payton and the ownership group and everybody involved, thought, oh man, we hit the gold mine. Yeah, you hit the gold mine. But guess what? It was fool's gold. Not real gold, fool's gold. And you paid $245 million to fake gold. That's exactly what this ownership did. $245 million for fake gold. Wow. All right. Let's continue. I got several more comments. Or topics. Let's get into it. Pete Carmichael. Now, last Tuesday, the New Orleans Saints parted ways with offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael after 18 seasons with the team. This could mean a reunite. Oh, here comes some more Saints stuff. This could mean a reunited connection with Sean Payton because Carmichael was with Payton for the entirety of Sean Payton's tenure in the Big Easy and has close ties with the 52-year-old coach. While both were together, they produced 10 top 5 ranked scoring offenses and finished in the top 10 in points scored 13 times. Wow. Could Pete Carmichael be coming to the Denver Broncos as their new offensive coordinator. Now, I haven't heard anything about our offensive coordinator we have now being gone. Haven't heard anything about that. But that's because Sean Payton is taking his time to evaluate his options as to who he fires and who he hires. Do you think he's going to fire his offensive coordinator now without knowing if he has another one in line? Absolutely not. Of course not. He is going to look at Pete Carmichael and say, hey, buddy, come here. We worked together in New Orleans for all of those years. And man, we had some great offensive, we had offensive stats and we were in the top 5, 10 times. Hey, how about coming to Denver? How about working with me in Denver, man? We could redo this again. We could relive the good old times. We can make this happen. We just have to have the right quarterback. Oh, let's go get a Mason Rudolph. Let's go get a draft. Let's go get a Nixon in the draft. Let's go get, somebody else. Let's go get somebody. We got Stidham now. Let's kind of roll with him. I know what you're all about. Who says that couldn't happen? Who says? And I know I've seen people out there saying the Denver Saints. I don't care. I just want to freaking win again. I want a playoff team. I want a Broncos team like I remember the 70s Broncos teams going to playoffs and Super Bowls, the 80s teams going to playoffs and Super Bowls, the 90s team winning Super Bowls, and the 2015 Super Bowl champion Broncos. That's what I want. I want to relive that. I want to bring new energy back to Broncos country. I want to bring playoff football in Denver again. Bring on a Pete Carmichael. Let's do it. Why not? If it worked in New Orleans and the chemistry was there, why not do it again in Denver? I know people say, we gotta, hire our own people and we can't get, why? If it works, why? When Mike Shanahan was in Denver as a head coach, he had Gary Kubiak. Gary Kubiak, when he was the head coach in Denver, he brought in his own guys. Everybody brings in their own guys. And if it works, why change what freaking works? Don't change what works. Change what doesn't. And we haven't had what works in 7 years. So let's make drastic changes. Let's do what Sean Payton wants to do. He's a proven head coach winner, Super Bowl winning head coach. He knows how to win. Bring in a Pete Carmichael. Bring in whomever you want. I don't care. Let's just bring back wins. Let's bring back playoffs. Let's bring back Broncos country of what we're used to, and that is championships in Denver Broncos style. That's what I want. Okay. SMH. What's SMH? It's that leave the past behind. We don't need a Saints coaching reunion. Kamani, why not? If it works, Kamani, why not? Why not? All I'm saying is I don't care who we have. I don't really care who our offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. I don't care who it is, as long as it works. I really don't know half of the coaching staff of any Broncos team at any time. I just know Gary Kubiak was a head coach. I don't know who was offensive coordinator. I don't know who was a defensive coordinator. I don't really care because we won. And we had Gary Kubiak. We had Mike Shanahan as our head coach. I don't remember who our defensive coordinator was. Yeah, it was Wade Phillips. I don't remember anybody beyond that. I don't care as long as we freaking win. That's all I want. That's all I want as a Bronco fan. I'm tired of losing seasons. I'm tired of retread head coaches. I'm tired of the carousel constantly turning and we don't know which one we're going to get. It's almost like a crapshoot. Throw the dice and, oh, damn, roll craps again. Well, I guess we got this guy. I mean, no, that's what I don't want. I don't want that. I want consistency. I want winning, and I want playoffs. All right. Patrick Surtain. I know, guys. You're talking about Patrick Surtain. A lot of chatter about him being traded, him being no, 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 no. Not going to happen. Listen to this. The Denver Broncos are very interested in keeping their all-pro cornerback in Patrick Surtain. The team wants the third-year corner in Denver for a very long time. So does this guy. I love Patrick Surtain II. Always have, always will. Continue. Therefore, the Broncos are looking to extend Surtain's contract. However, they may have to wait till his fifth year due to dead money from Wilson and other contracts. Yep, that's right, guys. It came and bit us in the proverbial backside. Absolutely did, and we knew it would. Continue. George Payton did say, and I quote, that in the coming months, it will come to fruition at some point, end quote. It better had come to fruition. It absolutely had better come to fruition with keeping Patrick Surtain in as a Denver Bronco cornerback. Absolutely. If we say goodbye to Patrick Surtain, we might as well be saying goodbye to our defense, because without Surtain's shutdown corner like Champ Bailey was, you're not going to have the defense at its elite like it is now. You got Patrick Surtain on one side, and you have Justin Simmons as a safety, not having to worry about Surtain. Yeah, you put somebody. We already saw when Patrick Surtain's not in there, we give up tremendous amount of deep pass plays on that side of the field, because without Patrick Surtain, you don't have a shutdown corner. You don't. And I love the fact that the Broncos understand this, which I don't know why it took them, this long to say that we want to, keep him on the team. Well, of course you do. Well, I understand that the Broncos are strapped right now because of dead money. You got to keep a Patrick Surtain somehow, some way. You have to figure out how to keep and lock this guy up for at least another 10 years. Give him a 10-year contract worth I don't care how much, because Walton Penner Ownership Group, they have the money. So once that dead money is, gone, let's use that money for Patrick Surtain. Keep him here for his entire contract in Denver. Keep him here. Don't let him go anywhere. Just like we had Steve Atwater. Don't let anybody like a Steve Atwater, or Terrell Davis, or John Elway ever go to any other team, because they are the core nucleus. I mentioned this many, many times before. You cannot get rid of your core players. Period. You can't. You get rid of your foundation, your whole house is going to crumble. Your whole house is going to crumble. You have to have four corners of your foundation solid all the way through. And if you don't have a Surtain, you don't have a Justin Simmons, you don't have a Cortland Sutton, and you don't have a Javonte Williams, your core group is not solid. Period. You can throw in any other names in there, but you cannot erase a Justin Simmons and a Patrick Surtain and a Cortland Sutton. You may be able to erase Jerry Jeudy, but you can't erase those three. Okay? You can't erase those three. And even Javonte Williams, as much as I love the guy, you might be able to erase him, but you have to have four corners filled solid as your core foundation on any team. I know it starts with quarterback, but we don't have that one yet. Okay, so you got to look elsewhere. And on defense, you cannot get rid of your Justin Simmons. No way. Oh, Doc Hopper in the house. Doc, nice to have you in the chat. Says Bronco Bill. I say, what's up, Doc Hopper? Nice to see you in the chat. Really appreciate y'all speak the truth. Mafukin genius, my man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I just had to kind of twist that last word around just a little bit, kind of stay, on the up and up. But Doc Hopper, nice to have you in the house. Nice to have you in the chat. Really do appreciate your comment. And thank you so much for saying that, we speak the truth. That's what I say at the beginning of my show. Honesty, bring you honesty or passion, emotion, passion, and honesty. That's what I do. I don't make this stuff up. That's not what I do. I don't do this for, shock and awe kind of thing. No, I don't do that. I don't make up stuff. I bring you the truth. I bring you my comments. I'm not saying my comments might not all be, what everybody else thinks, but I bring actual facts right here on black and white. I bring you the facts, I bring you the truth, and then I bring you the comments. I also bring in your comments as well because you guys are the backbone of the show. All right, let's see. Doc Hopper says, no one more in tune with their team than you are with the Broncos. Man, Doc, thanks so much, man. Thanks so much. Really, I do appreciate that, Doc. Really, really do appreciate that. Thank you so much for your honesty. Thank you so much for your feelings, your comments. Really do appreciate. He also goes on and says, appreciate you, man. I appreciate your comments, dude. I mean, man, I greatly do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then Doc always says, that's why we tune in, man. Love you, bro. Hey, love you too, man. Love you too. Thank you so very much. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Really do. Really do mean it. I wouldn't be doing this. I would not be doing this if I didn't have people like yourself, each and every one of you out there that tune in on a Friday, on a Sunday, if there's a Broncos neighborhood, or a Monday's Elevation Orange, but especially on Broncos Breakdown. Really do appreciate it, guys. Take so much of your time out of your busy Friday, your early weekend, to spend it with this crazy nut called Bronco Bill. Really, really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. Kamani, you guys are overwhelming me, man. You guys are really overwhelming. 3 cheers for Bill for doing a great job. Let's get ready to Chargers. No. We're not getting ready to say Chargers. We're not doing that because that's not it. But Kamani, do appreciate your comments anyways. Thank you so much. I do my best, guys. I do my research, and I really do have fun doing it. You guys are the best. You guys are the best when it comes to this show. Come on. I'm losing my voice, guys. I don't know why. Wow, where'd this come from? Hang on, guys. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's because of all the ranting and raving I've been doing. Kamani says, appreciate you too, Bill. You my bro. Kamani, you're my bro too, man. Love you. Muhammad says, like the videos, everyone. Yes, everybody, please do me a favor. Please, it means the world to the network. It means the world to the show. Please hit the thumbs up. It costs you nothing. It just lets everybody else know that when they come across the show, they see a thumbs up, which is a like, and they say, oh, hey, man, let me check it out. There's 15, 20 likes, and let me check it out and see what I'm missing. Thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. It costs you nothing. It helps out tremendously. And if I can get each and every one of you to give a thumbs up, then I know that you guys really, really do appreciate the show. And it means the world to me. All right, guys. Last 2 topics of the show. Here we go. First season with Sean Payton. Was it a success? Was the first season with Sean Payton a success? Well, let's break it down, guys. Let's break it down, okay? Well, not having a winning season nor making the playoffs does come into play. However, winning 8 games marked the first team. Are you ready for this? This is crazy. Winning 8 games marked the team's best win total in a single season since 2016. That's 7 years ago, guys. 7 years since the Broncos have won 8 games in a season until this past year. The Broncos offense also improved from scoring 16.9 per game in 2022 under Hackett to 21 points per game in 2023. That's not a big jump. That's basically 3.1. But hey, if you win by a field goal, you win by a field goal, like they did in Buffalo. Okay? Still, not ideal, but better than the last 7 seasons. Absolutely. Better than the last 7 seasons. Was it a success as a first-time head coach of the Broncos with a Russell Wilson that wasn't Sean Payton's quarterback that he wanted? Sure. I say absolutely it's a success. Absolutely. We won 8 games for the first time in the last 7 years. Okay, I'll take that any day of the week. Any day of the week. Was it what we expected? No. I expected 10 or 11 wins, and we could have had that if we'd beaten the Commanders, or we'd beaten the Patriots, or we'd beaten the Jets. There's 11 right there. But we didn't. Why? Because in my opinion, Russell Wilson Sean Payton wasn't going to have Russell Wilson be the quarterback going in 2024. Plain and simple. So he sabotaged it. Go back and look at those 3 games. He absolutely sabotaged the game plan. Period. I'm sorry, guys. That's my opinion. I'm not saying that's everybody else's out there. I'm saying that's mine. Go back and look at the games. We had opportunity after opportunity, and it wasn't there. Why? Because the play call was horrendous. Why? Because he didn't want Russell Wilson to succeed. Period. And that irritates me. Because it's hard for me to think and fathom that a head coach would do that. It's been done before. Maybe not with a quarterback, but it's been done with coaches. John Elway basically handcuffed Vance Joseph when he was a head coach. He absolutely handcuffed Vance Joseph. Okay, it's done. It happens. Do I like it? No, I don't like it, but it happens. And it's frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. But it doesn't surprise me that we had a chance to win 11 games and we only won 8. Is it a success? It's an improvement. I'm not going to say it's a success because we didn't make the playoffs. But it is and was an improvement. And I'll leave it at that. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's see what 2024 has to offer, especially in the offseason going forward. All right. Let's see. Kamani asked me, will I be on next Friday? Absolutely, I'll be on next Friday. I don't know what next Friday is. What's next Friday? Yeah, I'll be on next Friday. Absolutely. Absolutely, I will be. Kamani also says, I give it a C+. You're talking about the Sean Payton first season C+? Yeah. Well, that was better than Nathaniel Hackett with an F. So, yeah, it was definitely an improvement, Kamani. Definitely improvement. But I wouldn't say it was a success. It was an improvement. I'll leave it at that. Definitely leave it as an improvement. Let's just see what 2024 season has to offer. All right. This last topic has to deal with George Payton saying he is excited. No. Not pleased, not happy, not excited. George Payton is excited to have the Broncos be picking at number 12. Why? That means the Broncos didn't have that good of a season. If they're picking at 12, that's not that good of a season. Now, it's not at the 50 mark, which would be 16 because there's 32 teams. So they're not 16, but they ain't 5 and they ain't 18 or 23 because they had a good season. So they go down the list. No, they're at 12. Why is George Payton excited about picking 12? I'll tell you why. According to George Payton, the Broncos are excited to be drafting at number 12. Payton said, and I quote, "It's important to hit on most of your picks, especially when you're picking that high." End quote. He went on to say, and I quote, "We haven't had a first-round pick since 2021, and that worked out pretty well." End quote. Guess what, guys? Guess who the Broncos picked guess who the Broncos picked in their first round draft pick in 2021? That's right. I guess that worked out really well because the Broncos in their first round pick, they selected All-Pro Patrick Surtain in 2021. Yeah, that worked out really well. Maybe that's why George Payton is super excited about being able to pick at number 12. Because if he decides to make trade picks to move up to get who he and Sean Payton really want and Greg Penner really want in the draft, then they'll make that move. But picking at 12, the Broncos could land a potential quarterback or somebody else that they really, really need and really feel that will fit into the Sean Payton system. I don't know who that's going to be. I have no clue. I don't know. I mean, we're way too far away, guys. We're still in the regular season / postseason of the 2023 NFL season. So we don't know who the Broncos could potentially select or move up to or whatever they decide to do. We don't know. But if we can get a player like a Patrick Surtain that we got in 2021 with our first round draft pick, I will be ecstatic at picking at number 12, because I have a feeling next year we're not going to be at 12. We're going to be a lot lower because the Broncos are going to have a winning season and a much better season than they had the last 7 seasons. Guys, I don't know why I'm losing my voice. Wow, man. That must have been wow, that must have been some energy that I exuberated during this whole hour and 15 minutes of the show so far. Kamani Dixon says, yes, come on, April draft. I agree. I totally agree with I'm excited for the draft too, because I don't know what we're going to do. And this is the first year we're going to have a Sean Payton in the draft room, in the war room with a George Payton and a Greg Penner. It's going to be exciting, guys. It's going to be exciting. And to have a draft pick at the number 12 and maybe go to 11 or 10, I don't know, to maybe jump over, a couple of teams that we can take a player that we really, really need and want, and then Sean Payton can use, and everybody's on board to say that that's a perfect fit, hopefully, then I say, let's go. Let's run with it. Absolutely, let's run with it. No doubt about it. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Kamani asked, doesn't free agency start in March? Yes, it does. The Broncos are not going to be very active in free agency, Kamani. They're not. They don't have the salary cap. They're in salary cap hell right now. They absolutely are. They're in dead cap money with Russell Wilson and others. And it's not going to be easy to jump into the free agency and get somebody extremely talented that's going to require high dollar, unless we drop a lot of key players. And I say not to do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. It's not worth it. No, it's not worth it. In my opinion, it's not worth it. We've done that way too many times. We've spent way too much money on players that we currently don't have anymore, or we're not going to have, as in Russell Wilson. I say don't do it. Sorry, Kamani, to burst your bubble. If you're really looking forward to free agency, it's not going to happen, and I really don't want it to happen. Really don't want it to happen. All right, guys. Before I totally lose my voice, I'm going to say that's it, guys. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you have not, please do so. Really do appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button. That means tremendous amount of support for the show. I really do appreciate it. Thanks to each and every one of you in the chat. I'm going to go down the list as I always do, or I always try and do anyways. Sometimes I make it. Sometimes I forget. I don't mean to. Bear with me, guys, with my throat and my voice, but I'm not getting a cold. I feel fine. I don't have a cold. It's just, I guess I've just been exerting a lot of vocal energy tonight. All right. Thanks to Kamani Dixon for batting leadoff in the chat. Thanks so much, Kamani and my brother. Thank you. Really appreciate Muhammad Badri, Rudy, my brother-in-law from Vegas. Let's see. We also have, who else is in the house? I'm going down the list. I know we got Doc Hopper. Thank you so much, Doc, for all your comments. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me. You guys are the best. Thanks each and every one of you for being in the chat, whether you're in Facebook, watching on Facebook, not in the chat, but Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, X. Really do appreciate you guys are the best. Thanks each and every one of you. Like always, you guys are the backbone to the show. You are the one that keeps this show going with the energy and the passion. As always, you guys are the best. You bring the best each and every week. Each and every one of you out there, thanks so much for spending some time on your Friday night, your pre-weekend getaway. Thanks again for each and every one of you every Friday for being here and making this show better than what it could be without you. I would tell next Friday, guys, you know the rest of the shows during the week, but until next Friday and Broncos Breakdown, next Friday, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will see you next Friday. Until then, guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, work hard for the car, so that's why